Hello, welcome to the Sweet Talk. Today is Tuesday, March 24th, 2020, and I am your host, Kim Matina. I am a technology teacher and a Google certified trainer and educator, as well as a gold product expert. And today I have on the show Miss Samantha Selikoff. I said that right, right?
Yep, of course. Hi,
All right.
everyone.
And Samantha comes to us from North Jersey, so she's another New Jerseyan, but she's on the other side of the state. I'm South Jersey, and she is a technology teacher at the Thomas Jefferson Middle School
Yep.
in Rockborough, and she teaches fourth through eighth grade technology. So, welcome to the show, Samantha.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being on. I appreciate you sharing your expertise with the audience. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and then we can talk about STEM.
Awesome. So, I teach a course called Creativity, Innovation, and Design. So, that's for fourth through eighth grade, and it focuses on the four C's as well as the engineering design process. Along with that, I also teach computers for fourth through eighth grade or fourth through sixth grade. So, that's our computers and technology class. So, um, that's from coding to Google Applied Skills to using the Chromebooks or other technology. And then along with my teaching role, I also have an ed tech coaching role with my district, which is a lot of fun. So some of that I've been doing this week with mini webinars or just sending out different information and different resources to teachers. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I think you've been a little bit busy, right?
Yep. I'm sure like everyone else.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat. But yeah, so it's nice to have you on as another like-minded ed tech person. And I know today we you had a couple topics that you presented, but I thought that the one that we're going to talk about was more meaningful because of the situation that we're in with remote learning or distant learning. So you're going to talk about STEM and remote learning or distant learning and how you
Yep.
can still teach that content with your students. So why don't you go ahead and tell us like some of the resources
Awesome.
that you're using and how you're engaging your students remotely as well.
So a lot of my resources come from reaching out to from other conferences or just other groups I'm a part of, also Twitter. So I'm always on Twitter getting new ideas. Um, One of the conferences I went to was FETC, Future of EdTech Coaching and Collaboration. And one of the connections I made there was one of the representatives of Tinker, which I've used previously. And Tinker is a coding software. So my sixth, seventh, and eighth grade are current and fifth grade are currently working on Tinker. So that has lessons for JavaScript, Python, web formatting, just gamified coding with blocks as well. So that's a really awesome resource. And right now they're offering that free for whoever needs it or wants to use it. So on their website is how to access that as well and how to upgrade to the premium, along with doing online lessons with Codable or Tinker and code.org. I'm also doing a lot of STEM design challenges as well. So one of the STEM design challenges we're using is talking about architecture. So fourth grade's focusing on that. I really like tying them into different books. So right now, my fourth graders are reading or listening to on YouTube Iggy Peck, the architect. And the author of that has a really awesome book that goes along with it and also activities. So they're creating their own town using Iggy Peck, the architect book. And my fifth graders are doing a Lego STEM design challenge. So they're working on creating a Lego kit. So going along with, they have a STEM design challenge where they were just relocated to Denmark, where Lego's based, and they have to look for different resources in Denmark. They then have to prepare for their job and prepare to present different ideas at Lego for their job and for starting their job. And sixth grade is doing a design challenge with code.org and building and creating their aluminum foil boats right now. So that's where I'm at with those classes. And I get a lot of the different resources, like I said, from Twitter and different teacher groups I'm a part of. So that's been really helpful in this process as well.
So so for example, the fifth grade project, you're having them go to the Lego interface or whatnot. I don't understand. Like,
So
what's the website that they're using to build this?
So I created a whole Google Doc that has a whole design challenge on. So right now they start off and they're looking for flights to Denmark through Google Flights. They're looking, they're budgeting for buying moving boxes or suitcases. They're saying what things that they would need for a budget to relocate to Denmark. Then part two of the design challenge is okay, you're at Denmark and um, you're at Denmark and you have to prepare for your job. So they're going through the engineering design process. They're doing market research to see what Legos and what Lego kits are already out there. And then they have to sketch out one with a theme. So they are currently sketching out different ones with different themes, such as their favorite movie, their favorite TV show. And then we also talked about being before transitioning to online learning, we talked about extensions and different extension projects, such as Disney does with. So Frozen has many different extension projects. Lego has many different extension projects or stories. So then they also, for week 3, will be creating an extension story for their Lego kit. So it all kind of builds off of it.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like how you did that. That's awesome.
thank you. Yeah. So before they left, they were actually creating parade floats with a theme. So we talked a lot about Macy's Day Parade, and they were able to come up with a theme. They were just using shoebox and materials from class, and they were creating a theme and then a parade float, and they had to look at different advertisers also and different singers that may want to perform on their parade float. So I try to come up with all different low cost but also engaging materials for the 5th grade, as well as all my other grades.
So they were actually building like a dinorama kind of project.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically. Yeah, with a theme. And we talked about how there are different engineers and sculptors and all these different types of jobs that people wouldn't necessarily realize that are out there. So in New Jersey, we actually have the Macy's Day Parade Studio. So I showed them some different articles from there, and they all learned about that. We previewed the Macy's Day Parade and all different floats that they have on it. And that's what they did with that project.
Well, that's really cool because it connects like their community or their
Right,
area where they live to what is real. And then I like how you incorporated all the different aspects of technology and have them do the research and marketing for their project. That's
right.
really clever. I like that.
So you could even take it a step further and design it in Tinkercad or have them 3D print a piece of it. Or Lego actually had a few years ago, they had a contest with designing different Legos. So that's kind of how I came up with this design challenge. So just looking for different resources like that.
So that's cool because honestly, like before school closed, I was starting a project. We didn't, it was like the first class of it. So we were just getting started.
Right.
And it was something similar. It was like a, project based learning using the design process, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, this was seventh grade. So seventh
Okay.
grade students had to, um, look at a problem that we were facing in society, or some type of system,
Right.
and see if they can improve it or come
Awesome.
up with something new and
Yeah.
be an inventor. And and then they were going to go through the design process, and then they were
Mm-hmm.
going to learn Tinkercad.
Yeah.
and try to make their design in that application. And then I was eventually going to print it out on my 3D printer.
Awesome. Yeah.
But, with everything going on, we didn't even get to that point.
Right.
Like, I was just in the middle. I was just starting to introduce the project to them. But it
Well,
sounds like it was similar. It's similar to what you were doing. Yours was more theme based Lego.
right. Well, I've done to introduce the engineering design process in fourth grade. They do TREPs, but so that's creating like a business and creating an item that they want to sell. And then they get to sell it in the gym one night. But we also introduce the engineering design process. The first thing that we do with our fourth grade is something based off of Jimmy Fallon's Kid Inventions. And so I want them to understand the idea that anyone at any age can invent. So I'll show them some of those inventions and just some people their age who have made a difference in the world, whether it's classic news articles or Newsella. So they really take to that and are really interested in that. And then another great book for that is The Most Magnificent Thing. So we practice writing to a company about something that they can make an improvement with. So that we talk about improvements and also focus groups. So sometimes when we invent, we'll practice getting to focus groups and then giving feedback. So Codable is awesome, and we've actually done a group chat, or not group chat, Google Hangout with Codable's founders, and my students got really excited about it. So they sometimes write to them and they're like, can you add this to it? And then Gretchen and John and everyone from Codable, they're like, we're working on it. Or that's a great idea, or something like that. So it's really awesome to see that feedback makes a difference, or just to connect with other people and make those real world connections for students. Another thing that we do is The Most Magnificent Thing. And we just talk about the improved process and how we could always make things better. So
Yeah, that's kind of like what I wanted the kids to think of and think about was
yeah,
like what in society today that they can look at, and even in their community or neighborhood, and say, well, that design doesn't work, or
right.
this could be better. Like, so it was trying to make them think more of a out of the box.
Right.
Uh,
Well, another great resource that I was looking at yesterday is the Cooper Hewitt Design Library. And it's a whole library for teachers that they can look through. It's lesson plans, it's worksheets, it's design challenges. So it's anything that you can think of. And each year they have a theme with their design challenge. So the design challenge is mainly geared to from 9th to 12th grade, but the lesson library has lessons for everyone. And you can always also like adapt it to your grade level. So one of those design challenge years was centered around empathy. So that might be something to check out as well. One of my sixth grade design challenges is about the UN Sustainable Goals. So they have to pick one of those 17 UN Sustainable Goals and go through the whole engineering design process. They have a choice board to choose from. So before we left, we were working on that. So some of my students were creating a commercial with WeVideo or PSA. Some of them were creating a children's book to help younger grades understand the issue. Some of them were creating a prototype. Some of them suggested their own ideas. So they were doing a variety of projects with that as well.
and what was the name of that website?
The Cooper Hewitt Design Challenge
Cooper.
or lesson library.
How do you
It's
spell
with
that? Actually, go into a new tab. Like I was going to try to look it up.
me try to look it up.
I was going to look it up while you were talking.
COOPERHEWITT.
COPER.
Cooper COOPERHEWITT.org.
Oh, Cooper Hewitt. Okay.
Yep. So if you go under their education tab.
Oops, wait a minute. I'm actually going to let me share my screen so you can show me. And then I can
So
look.
I put it in the chat if that helps.
Okay, let me get that. Hold on. Where's the chat? Let's see.
And the website has been super helpful. And like I said, you can adapt it. I use it all the time. I've been using it for a few years now. You can also send in your own materials.
Oh yeah, they'll accept your ideas as well.
Yeah, you can reach out. I've reached out before. Or if there's changes that you want to see. So you can organize by grade level, which is awesome. There's also different subjects. So I mainly stay with technology, but you don't have to. You can organize by grade level, and it will show you the amount of time as well.
Oh, okay. So it was already sorted. Okay.
So that's one place to go for different design challenges as well.
Oh, this is nice. I didn't
Yeah.
know about this. So
And
this
it has
is
a standard in it. It has everything that you can imagine is there. And like I said, they're totally adaptable. So sometimes it's just great to go there and seek different ideas. So yeah, I totally recommend it. It's from Cooper Union, which is a design school based in New York. There's a lot of different resources on there.
so is this so this particular one that I went into about the life cycle, like this one is actually you're going to be using like poster paper markers.
Yep. Or you
Okay.
could always adapt it. So
Yeah.
like code.org, I'm using their tinfoil boat challenge right now. But if they don't have tinfoil at home, or they can use a different material, they can cover paper and do it with saran wrap if they wanted to. They can come up with another material. So I'm also very flexible with what they can use with it as well.
Oh, that's cool. I'm glad that you shared that website. Honestly, I never heard of it before. So,
Yeah, it's an
um,
awesome one to play around with as well.
yeah, is there any other one that you can recommend for STEM? Because
Uh,
it might be
First,
helpful to share with teachers now that we're doing remote learning.
yeah. For STEM, there's engineering is elementary. I get a lot of different resources from there.
What is it?
Engineering is elementary, EIE.
Oh,
So that's from the Boston Science Museum, which is really helpful. There's a bunch of different ones. I get them a lot from ITEEA. So that's a technology association for teachers. And they have a lot of great resources. A lot of different states have different chapters as well. So if you go under resources on their website, and you can see a variety of
you said ITA?
yeah, ITEA.org.
Oh, or
They have a lot of different resources on their website as well. There's also Teach Engineering.
oh yeah, STEM curriculum K-12. Nice. Oh, can you put these in the show notes?
Yeah, so I'll throw them in there as well. There's Teach Engineering, there's EIE. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of different resources. Discovery Education also has a lot of different resources. They released a movie a few years back about engineering your world, and um, it had to do with different design challenges and different types of engineers. So they focused on civil engineering and designing bridges. But along with that movie that they released, they also released different design challenges. So I'll also send that over too in the show notes. So that I showed to my 8th grade. I like the bridge part that they showed. There was also a robotics scene. One of the design challenges that came along with that movie was designing a pinball machine, which could be done with a shoebox. So I really like the low cost STEM projects.
Yeah, not everything always has to be technology, right? Or device driven.
Right. A lot of it that I do in my class is, especially for the CID class, is project based. So those are with low cost materials. Um, which is a great resource. The students bring in their shoe boxes. I get shoe boxes from the community. Right now, it's a great time to put out who wants to do some spring cleaning. I'm looking for this. You can do a design drive of different items that people can bring in your community. So that's also a great opportunity for right now.
Yeah, that's a good point to share. That I tell you what, like I'm really gonna check a lot of these out because I've heard of EIE before, but I never really dug into it or dived.
Yeah, they have a water filtration one,
Yeah.
which I've done. Their books also address different issues that arise.
Are these free?
EIE is not free. That is a paid curriculum. Teach Engineering, I'm pretty sure, is still free. ITEA has a lot of different resources that you can check out. Cooper Hewitt is free. And so there are a lot of different free resources out there. So a lot of people think that you automatically have to pay for a really expensive curriculum. But like you said, there's a lot of different free curriculums. There's a lot of different free resources. I get a lot of ideas just from books. So I really like pairing things with children's books. Like I mentioned, like Iggy Peck, the Architect, or Rosie Revere, the Engineer, is a great series. I actually have it right here. It's a fantastic series about different STEM careers. So here's Iggy Peck, the Architect, and Add a Twist, the Scientist is also great, and Rosie Revere, the Engineer. And then also another great STEM book is The Most Magnificent Thing. Other types of books I've used are one about snowmen, and they go to a snowman ball and they have to dress up. So last year we did stop motion animation where you had to dress up your snowman, and they did that with Google Drawings and Google Slides. And then the snowman had to walk the red carpet, and that was their stop motion animation using Google Slides. So just a lot of different children's books or different resources that I find either online through these resources or Twitter is a really great place for ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like that idea that you connect like a book to the project. It makes it a little bit more engaging, I guess, for the kids, right?
Right.
They have some,
Especially in my younger group, like my fourth and
yeah,
fifth graders, they really enjoy it. I know that I used to love story time when I was a student. Even in college, my one professor I remember, she used to do a book or a children's book a day, and she would connect it to any lesson. So that was great. Even when we do money books, there's a Dr. Seuss book about money. There's a Dr. Seuss book about keeping the earth clean. There's a ton of different series with Dr. Seuss books, not by Dr. Seuss, but they're part of his category now. So there's so many different books that have to do with STEM or that you could make a connection to STEM. So one of my previous roles before I started teaching was interning at the Baseball Hall of Fame. So I ran a whole weekend about STEM and baseball and connecting baseball to STEM. So one of the design challenges I did up there was creating your own stadium. And we learned about eco-friendly stadiums. So just making those connections, because the biggest thing, as you know, is the motivation piece of it and the engagement.
yeah, definitely. You make it real for them so that you can hook them into the project. Because if
Right.
it's not engaging, then you're going to lose them.
Right. Absolutely.
You're doing some great things up there, Samantha. That's awesome. It
Thank
sounds
you.
like your class is wonderful. I wish I
Thank
could
you.
come and visit.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. You're always welcome.
Maybe next year, or maybe if
Yeah.
you open anytime, this year. But it'd be
Right.
cool to do it, like connect our classes together
Yeah.
via Google Meet or something, um and then have your kids talk to my kids or whatnot, or even like present your projects to my kids.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Or like a Shark Tank style or something like that would be a lot of fun.
That'd be cool, because then they'll feel like it's a real life audience.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
it's a nice experience for the kids to actually like connect remotely with other classrooms or other, you know, like you said, you had guest speakers on, you know, to talk to your kids too about different features in that program, which is nice because, you know, they don't get to see that and hear and see that type of perspective. So, uh,
Right.
connection, I think maybe we'll do it. We'll try it. We'll see how
Yeah,
the
that'd be awesome.
let's see how this school year goes. If not, we'll definitely do it next year, and then we'll, you know, in the fall maybe, and
Right.
see if we can maybe we can coordinate some project together, like your
Yeah,
class.
that'd be so much fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun, I think.
Definitely.
Well, thanks for sharing all your resources and your lessons and your ideas. You had so much to offer, and I really appreciate it. I hope that you put your links and the book titles that you use in the show notes in the weeklet, because I like to check out the books myself to see if my library, my school library, has
Yeah.
them, and you know, just to maybe read in and see how you're making that connection. Because as a fellow ed tech STEM teacher, it's nice to hear that different perspective on teaching the design process using different methods, and that's something that I would like to look to follow up on. So definitely share those novels, those books with us, and you know, and hopefully we can connect
Awesome.
in our
Yeah,
class.
that'd be great.
Yeah, I
Looking
think
forward to doing it.
yeah, me too. So that concludes our show tonight. Before I leave, I am going to share my screen and see. I had all my tabs open up here. I was actually following along with you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was trying to keep up with you. So my website is actually updated. I have a whole new website now. So it still has that same feel, but it has a different and new, you know, appearance to it. So on the homepage, if you go to the sweettalk.com, that's the SUITE talk.com, you can subscribe to the Sweet Talk on Facebook, YouTube, on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Google Podcasts, and the newsletter. The latest episode will be here. Any trending podcasts I'll put here. If you'd like to be a guest on my show, please fill out the guest inquiry form and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Right now, I'm scheduling for the end of June. And if you'd like to support my mission and become a sponsor, you can simply click this button here and fill out the sponsor form. A couple things that I just wanted to mention really quick. If you click on the episode page, there's tons of videos here that are available for anybody to watch. You can access the video and the show notes will have the podcast in here as well. So with everybody, you know, panicking or trying to learn so much and about, you know, ed tech tools right now, there might be something in this list here that can you know, be helpful to you. So don't forget to scroll through the pages here because there's 114 episodes. Jamboard, I think I'm going to end up doing another show about Jamboard, because a lot of people are asking me about Jamboard. But if you'd like to read about Jamboard, you can certainly click on the page and read about it, and hold on to your request because I will be doing a Jamboard episode soon. Um, Google Classroom, Alice Keeler and I just we just made available the digital copy of our book, Stepping Up to Google Classroom. And if you would like to pre-order the book, you have to go to this website. It is, I had it here. Um, this is daveburgessconsultant.com slash special dash offer. And you can sign up for the pre-order. And what you'll get is a link to a digital copy. And then you will get access to the digital copy. And then you'll be part of this of our Google Classroom group. And then once the book gets published, you will get sent your physical copy. So the book is $21.95, as you can see here. But you know, with everything going on, you know, we wanted to make the book available now instead of later. It was going to come out at the end of June around ISTE, but with so much demand for Google Classroom, we just wanted to get it out there, and hopefully it helps people learn it and just try to become familiar with it. So with that said, thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye.
Thanks.